All right, guys, we're sitting inside the C8 Corvette, and this is my first time starting one of these, and it's just gorgeous interior. So this is a 2LT package, and we'll go over what that comes with in a minute. So let's go over the steering wheel. So you have the steering wheel that's kind of the odd shape, and the reason they did that is so you can read these gauges here. So normally you'd have a curve over here. You also got a square top, so it doesn't interfere with looking at that heads-up display. We'll try to do more in the heads-up display later. I don't know how well you're going to see it on this video, but my C5 Z06 had a heads-up display, and it's definitely awesome. And you definitely need a 2LT in order to get the heads-up display. So here you have all your controls here. You got this nice, I believe it's 7-inch screen right here. And the 2LT also comes with the performance data recording. So you can do go to the track, you can do lap times, video overlay. This, I believe, controls some of your stuff on the screen, right? Oh, okay, so there's a little dial here. I didn't even know that. And that could bring up your different modes as I turn that. So we have sport mode, track mode. So now track mode, just like my McLaren did, it turns the instrumentation and the RPMs, the tachometer, almost like a Formula One car. Now we just started the car, so obviously I believe the red line will move. And here we also have the tire pressures. We can go through all the screens. Here are your cruise control button. There's no adaptive cruise control, but if you want that, you're buying the wrong car. Got more buttons here for sound, for volume. This is your Z button, so this you can actually put your favorite settings. You can adjust, I believe, steering feel and suspension. And then obviously it's an 8-speed dual clutch, so these are your downshifts. And this is your upshift over here. And as always, well, not as always, on the new Vette now, so this is odd seeing a Corvette without a manual transmission here. I've had three Corvettes, but they've all been manual. So here you have your drive, reverse, neutral, and I guess the M is going into manual mode for manual shifts. Yep, there we go. And then this is new for the C8, the buttons on the console. If you see this in pictures, it looks a lot bigger. See, from my, the buttons are a lot smaller in person, if you see from the size of my finger here. So you have the 2LT, gives you heated and cooled seats, also heated steering wheel. And then you have obviously your defrosters, your climate control. So everything you really need. And here's, I guess, the passenger heated and cooled seats and your climate control. So dual climate control. So everything's slanted towards the driver. Let's go over what the 2LT gives you. So as we said, the heads-up display, the power lumbar and wing adjustment, wireless phone charging, which is probably important to most people, heated and vented seats, which we went over, the heated steering wheel, Bose Performance Series audio, which is 14 speakers, the navigation, performance data recorder, Sirius satellite radio, 1-year subscription, universal home remote, power folding mirrors, rear camera in the mirror, which we'll look at now. So right now, this is the regular view, and I think we flip this. You want to flip it for us? Thank you. Oh, wow. So that you get the, now this is only available, you have to have at least a 2LT, and it comes with this, and then you have the rear view camera in the mirror, and that looks really cool. So I think the 2LT is the way to go. So the 2LT raises the price from $59,995 with destination to about $67,000. All right, enough talking. Let's take this car for a spin. Time to drive the C8 Corvette. So again, we have the 2LT package. So here's our rear view mirror. Let's see, we have a parking brake on here? No, right? Okay, so let me try. I'm terrible with transmissions that aren't manual. So I'm gonna hit, I guess, R for reverse.
Go behind.
Go behind. Oh, okay, pull it. All right, so we have two cameras. We have the regular camera here. I assume that's the standard camera. And then the rear view mirror here, we have a wider version with the 2LT package. All right, so now we should just be able to go in reverse, right? All right. And this car is Elkhart Blue, named after the racetrack in Elkhart Lake. So we're gonna put it in, we can put it right to drive. Oh, that's cool. So the 2LT, something I forgot to mention, gives you all the cameras, gives you the 360 cameras. Oh wow, so look at that, that's great for curbs. It's showing us our front bumper right now. Wow, that's awesome. Oh wow, look at that. Oh wow, that's so cool. Does that stay on or that goes away as we get going? Okay. All right, so now we can go, we'll put it in manual mode. Yeah, so the dual clutch shifts nice and smooth. It's an 8-speed. This car has a 6.2 liter V8 naturally aspirated. With the Z51 package, you get an extra 5 horsepower. So you have gross horsepower of 495 and 470 foot-pounds of torque. It weighs just over 3,300 pounds. And horsepower is made by building revs. So peak horsepower is about 6,400 RPMs. Peak torque's about 5,400 somewhere RPMs. I assume we're going to go left here.
Okay.
Okay. And let's see, there's a track mode for this too, right? That's okay. So the track mode, oh, there we had it for a second. Oh, it's green light, right? All right, so now track mode changes our instrumentation. And it almost is like we're in a Formula One car. Oh, wow. So you can really feel the power of this car. So this car has the same performance of my McLaren 570S for literally a third of the price. This car is the options are this adrenaline red leather interior, the black upgraded wheels, 2LT, which costs about $7,000, which we spoke about, and the Z51 package is another $5,000. And to me, the Z51 is a must-have if you're going to do any spirited driving or any track days. It gives you a sport exhaust, which can be optioned separately for about $1,900. It gives you revised suspension, it gives you bigger brakes, it gives you a limited slip differential, it gives you better cooling. Did I miss anything? Okay. Oh yeah, so with the mid-engine car, you have great, just like my NSX, you have great visibility up front. So the hood is lower that I can't even really see it driving the car. And the visibility out front is fantastic. Where the visibility is lacking, but again, you have all the cameras, is the rear visibility. Almost like my Lotus, you don't see too much back there. We have Pilot Sport 4S tires, which are probably the best summer tires you can have now. Let's just try a downshift now. Oh, wow. So it gave us a little pop there when we went down a second. Now, is the sport exhaust, does it go on and off, or it's always on? Or
It's when you put it on track mode and sport mode, it's the sport exhaust.
Okay, so that's why it sounds louder now.
Yeah.
So sport mode or track. The ride is really good, and we don't have the magnetic ride here, and I don't think you need it. I think the ride is excellent with this car. This is a hard car to drive slow, Frank.
Wants to go.
Yeah. Now Frank's been getting crazy six-figure offers for this car. This car has a sticker of about MSRP of about 73,000. Oh yeah, wow, you can really feel. The steering is nicely weighted. Oh wow, yeah. Now, unlike some of my other Corvettes, I've owned 3 Corvettes, including a Z06. This doesn't seem to have the torque down low that those cars have, but again, it's going to come up higher in the rev range, almost like you know, a race car, or say an E92 M3 where you had to build revs. And the brakes work, you could really feel. Z51 also gives you upgraded brakes and and stickier summer tires, and you can really feel the braking power of this car. So we'll try some downshifts here. Again, we're in track mode, so I think the downshifts are going to be more abrupt. I'm sure if we were in comfort mode, they'd be easier. I think they're giving us a little bang on purpose. All right. The steering wheel feels good. I was kind of concerned with the odd shape, but I think you get used to it rather quickly. Oh yeah, wow. We're driving in manual mode. That's always been a pet peeve of mine. Somebody gets a dual clutch and they don't use the paddles. And this could be, you know, this can easily be an everyday car. It's not harsh at all. It may look exotic, but it is, we'll signal and we'll go left here. It may look exotic, but it drives, you know, like a normal car. It's very comfortable. I'd even say the ride is very similar to a 911. Now there it's downshifting for me. So as we approach this light, we went from 4th down to 1, and I didn't hit the paddle once. So I guess you can't, I'm sure you could override it with the paddle, but it still has a mind of its own. Signal's a little loud.
That's what my wife said.
So you have the camera, now that I'm looking, you have the camera button, it looks like right here if you wanted to play around with cameras, right? The one all the way to the right, I think. Yeah, there we go. Wow, that's really sharp resolution. My McLaren looked like Atari, and the refresh rate, the car was already past you before you noticed that.
When you drive, it shuts off the camera.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think it would be distracting. Yeah, so these aren't the best roads in the world. All New Jersey roads suck, and yeah, this feels great. And it moves so quickly. It changes direction. You know, you just do a little bit on the steering wheel, and it turns in really sharply. And again, this is the Z51 package, so the tuning. Oh, look, see, they're staring. Everybody's staring at the Corvette. A lot of bang for the buck. What can you get for $73,000? That's 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds. Does an 11.25 mile right out of the box. Again, you with that $5,000 Z51 package, you get an extra 5 horsepower, and not that you need an extra 5 horsepower, but just the performance is insane for this dollar. And you know, this is only the base model. We haven't seen the Grand Sport yet. We haven't seen the Z06. Imagine how good that car is going to be. You know, I was worried about the dual clutch, but the dual clutch is great in this car. It really is. All right, so let's try it in, we'll try it in sport mode. There we go. So now it's going to change the tachometer, and I think the shifts are just going to be smoother because we're not in track mode. So let's take it around a turn. Now, some people complain about the understeer. I don't know if they were driving a Z51 car, so let's see. Now, mid-engine cars do understeer when you first go into a corner, so I'm going to chalk that up, I think, to, first of all, when cars get shipped, a lot of times they block down the wheels, and the alignment can get screwed up, so that could be one of the reasons. 2, if you're not used to mid-engine cars, because they have the engine in the middle, they don't have that weight over the front, so a lot of times they will understeer in a turn. So I know I saw some YouTube reviews, they're complaining about the understeer. I don't remember if it was a Z51 car or not, but I don't see the understeer here. Yeah, so the steering is really precise. The car has barely any body roll. I'm really surprised by the comfort, even with the Z51. If you've ever driven an older Corvette with a Z51, like a C5, it's brutal. You know, your fillings come out of your teeth, where here it's a whole different ballgame. And again, we don't even have the magnetic ride. The Sport exhaust to me sounds like a must-have option. I'm really impressed with the braking power this car has. Yeah, so the downshifts are a lot smoother. Oh, wow. The downshifts are a lot smoother in sport mode. And again, great visibility. I don't feel any oversteer or understeer. The car is very neutral. Body roll is minimal. Steering feels real good. For a modern car especially, I hate the steering feel on my BMW. That's a cop. This attracts attention from everybody. Oh yeah, so now the heads-up display is a lot, seems like it's brighter for some reason. Maybe it was the sun before it. Like, I can see it a lot better now. We'll go over that. Yeah, so look how quickly it changed directions. Wow, it's really impressive car. We have the roof on. I think with the Target top there'd be a lot more wind noise around here, so it might be better off to keep it off on the side roads, not so much on the highway. So the C8 Corvette is a really impressive car, and a lot of car for the money. Probably the best performance bargain out there, to be honest, for a new car. And You know, the hard part is you just can't get one. That's the shame of it all. If I gave you $75,000 today and told you to get a C8 Corvette, you probably couldn't do it. It seems like all the orders are backed up to at least 2021. And if you see my video on the 2021, they didn't raise the base price of the car, but they did raise the price of the options, so they're making it up that way. So here's a bumpy ride. Again, we don't have a bumpy road, we don't have magnetic ride, and this car handles it really, really well. I mean, I would say this drives better than my M340 on these roads, because that has the stiff run flat tires. Trucks always take their half of the road in the middle.
Yeah.
Now going into second could probably be a little bit smoother. It probably could rev match a little more, but it may be doing that for dramatic effect as well. And these are 19-inch wheels in the front, 20s in the back?
Correct.
Okay. Wow, I mean, come on, is it really that hard to make that left turn? Again, I love blue cars, but I think this is probably, I thought I would get rapid blue if I ever got one, but I think this is the color to have, the Elkhart Lake blue. It's actually similar to my Portimao blue on the BMW. All right, let's take this turn here. So you also get a electronic limited slip differential with the Z51 package. That's probably the most important thing, at least to me, that it comes with. Wow. Now compared to the Corvettes I've owned, this is worlds better. I mean, my 3 Corvettes put together aren't as good as this one. The C7 was a game changer when it came out. It was such a big improvement over the C6 in every way. Interior quality, performance, I think looks, and this car is the same way. So as much as the C7 was a game changer, I honestly think, except for maybe some of the performance variants that have, like Z51, Z06, ZR1 that have a manual transmission, those may hold their value because they probably can't put a manual in this car, and we'll get to that in other videos of why they can't. You know, this is the one to have. It just changes the game so much going to mid-engine. And I love mid-engine cars, and you just get the handling. It's so much better. And it'll keep the Corvette competitive for the future by being a mid-engine car, because now you're going to have a performance supercar, essentially, with that mid-engine. All right, so conclusions. Well, first of all, this car is gorgeous. I hope this film did it justice. If you see this car in person, it looks even better. You really have to see it in person to appreciate it. I love mid-engine cars. I've owned many mid-engine cars. That's my favorite configuration, rear drive, mid-engine. I also love the fact that it's a Targa. So this is, you know, a modern performance NSX. It has the same performance, speaking of performance, it has the same performance as my McLaren 570S, at 1/3 the price. Now this is just the base vet, so imagine how good the Grand Sport, the Z06, and the ZR1 are going to be. But don't fret it. If you can afford the base vet, run. Don't walk to your Chevy dealer. Thanks again for watching, guys. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.